Hello, everyone. This is Sophie Michalko, and today I am offering you this Zoom called Simple Tools to Get More Money. And it was the title of the Zoom actually came from Gary Douglas, under Consciousness. If you do not know what Access Consciousness is, I strongly recommend you look it up because we're going to be using a lot of the tools of Access Consciousness. I am myself a Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and one of the main tools we use is called the clearing statement. It's a bunch of words, it's short speak, that change the energy of whatever is coming up for us, whatever is going on in the situation. And boy, is there energy around money, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask all of you to take a couple minutes and just be present with your body. The reason I'm asking you this is because as an infinite being, you don't actually need, require, or care about money. As an infinite being, you're fine. You're happy. Like, money is not part of your requirements. But the body requires money. The body requires money because it likes nice things to have. It also requires money because it likes to interact with other people and different circumstances. And a lot of time that requires money, whether it's having a meal, a restaurant, or traveling around the world, whatever it is that your body wants, a lot of time is going to require money. But then there's also something else. If in your targets, if in what you want to create in the world, is something like changing the world or making the world a better place, the money is also going to be part of that. Not that you could not change the world with just being you and smiling to people, because one person at a time, that can't totally change the world. But if you're interested in changing masses of people, that's going to require resources. Now, it may not be your money. It could be somebody else's money, but it will require resources. So, welcome to this Zoom about money. So now that you are connected to your body, and you take some time being present with your body, it could be as simple as, oh, something is itching. Or it could be as, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. But now that you're connected to your body, ask yourself, okay, what do I think about money? Like when I say the word money, what comes up? And if anybody wants to share what comes up for them, when I say the word money, feel free. Recently, I had the idea that when I thought about money, it meant that I was going to have to do something I did not like. Okay, it could be like selling something to people in a way that is not fun for me. It could be telling people something that I don't believe in, whatever it is. So everywhere that I have decided that it will, receiving money requires me to do something I don't like, I can ask myself, will I uncreate and destroy it? Because if that is in my universe, that means that I'm actually able to destroy and uncreate that. I created that, so now I can uncreate that. And everything that is times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nines, sports, shorts, and beyonds. Now, that's the clearing statement of Access Consciousness. If you want more information, there's the clearingstatement.com. So, anybody wants to share? What's the first thing that comes in their mind when they think about money? Anyone?
I'd like to share, please.
Go ahead.
So, I am aware that I have this person who continuously is hacking me, and the fact is that if I have a nice amount of money that's inherited that's going to come to me, but because she keeps blocking me, like her thing is it's blocks. Money to me signifies it comes with her, and so that's why I keep rejecting it. And
so everywhere that you have attached money to that person, will you please uncreate and destroy that times a gazillion?
Yeah.
Okay, that was no. So this is often what's going to happen. So we're like, okay, I want to change that. And then when I ask you the question, I will actually get the energy? And it's no. So how much do you love being connected to that person? Oh, how much do you love making that person's life miserable? Probably because she made your life miserable in the past life.
I must really love it. Hello?
Everything that is times a godzillion, would you uncreate and destroy it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, pardon, as per shirts and beyond. So now, truth, are you willing to uncreate and destroy the relationship of money with this person?
Yes.
Okay, everything that does not allow that, uncreate and destroy it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, pardon, as per shirts and beyond. Cool. Anybody else? Anything else that comes up when I say money?
Oh, actually, hello. Thank you for
Hello.
this, and thank you for the this before with the question, because it basically reminds me of my grandma. It's I have well, I struggle with money, and not a lot comes in, and I have been like really working with it, like being more pragmatic, writing things down. But there's this thing with my grandma. She used to give me lots of money, but always controlled and manipulated me. And I got like so like I hate her. Like I want her to die, but she doesn't die. Like it's
okay. So can I ask you first a question about, you started by saying I struggle with money.
Yeah.
Okay. So everywhere that you've met that true and real, will you please uncreate and destroy that times the godzillion? Right,
yes.
on good, bad, on as per short, semion. So truth. So is that an idea that your grandmother gave you, that you have to struggle with money?
Yeah, I reckon she loves that. So she would need it.
So that yeah, exactly. So I have the same situation in my family. I have the exact same situation. And I thought my mom was going to die if I make enough money, because that's her whole job, is to support me financially. So I decided she's never going to be aware of how much money I make, so that she always has the feeling she can help me out. Right? So it's okay to not tell the whole truth. Right? So if you have somebody in your life who needs you to not have a lot of money, that's okay. You can tell them you don't have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean it's true for you. Don't buy into your own lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everywhere that you're not willing to outcreate your grandmother, will you please uncreate and destroy that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, pardon, as per symbions. Okay, so actually, before we go further with money, I would like to bring up a very important point, which is that money is the result of what you create. So if you don't go and create anything, then money does not come in. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go create making money, because that's only one way that money can come in. You know, like we heard about an inheritance, we heard about family members who give you money. There's all kinds of ways to receive money. But what I will ask is that you consider also, what are you creating? And creating can be creating relationships, can be creating art, can be creating a job, a business, whatever it is, maybe taking care of your kids. Whatever it is that you're creating, don't judge it as good enough or bad enough, or don't judge it. Just look at what it is you're creating. And then after you look at that, ask, what I'm creating, is that creating the money that I desire? So for instance, I do a lot of database work, and I can spend hours and hours and hours working on databases for other people. And I do it. And I have great joy in doing it. The thing is, I don't receive a lot of money for it. Okay. I receive some money, but not a lot of money for it. So I can look at, okay, well, that money, it helps. I'm not going to say it's bad money. It helps for sure. But recently I realized, wait a second, I actually require more money than that. So that amount of money does not work for me. So what I did is I actually asked for more money. Okay. So you need to look at what it is you're creating, and is that bringing the the amount of money that you would have. Any question about that?
I actually, I do. It's so interesting that you bring this up because I have several businesses that I actually enjoy doing. Like I have a bars business. I do sessions. I'm coaching. I do online stuff. I also do graphics. I started recently like a sort of a happy houses where I like clean houses but energetically as well, and entities and stuff. And they all make me happy, like, but like they don't make money. And for like the last 2 weeks, I have been saying, fuck you to all my businesses. And I'm like, you're not fun for me. You're not making any money. And I yeah.
Awesome. So did you notice there's a little energy of judgment there, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah. So judgment will kill your money flows. So everybody, you need to hear this. Judgment will kill your money flows. Whether you're judging yourself, you're judging your business, you're judging others. If you want to create more money, you're going to have to really, really let go of judgment, realize judgment is never real, and pocket pot the shit out of that and let it go. That's number one, okay? Number two, there's a question here that you're not asking, Ivy. So for everything that you do, so when I looked at what I was doing with the databases, I realized, okay, it's not creating the amount of money that I want. So I asked for more money. That was number one. Number two, I am now designing a program for companies where I can consult with companies to implement systems, right? So I continue to do database work, but I get paid a whole lot more money to actually consult with them about what system, what database, right? And how to use it. So there's always more that you can do. For instance, the last thing you did, because I didn't hear all of your business. Well, there's bars, there's other businesses, or graphics, other one. So what you do is for each business that you have or each activity that you're making, that you enjoy making money with, what you're going to do is you're going to ask, what are 5 other ways that I could receive money from this activity? 5 other ways. So it could be changing your business model. It could be teaching other people. It could be writing a book. It could be making videos that get a lot of views on YouTube and you get advertising money. Whatever it is, like there's at least, and sometimes more, 5 more ways to make money with any activity that you enjoy. But you have to ask it. Right?
I like
Peter,
that a lot.
Yeah. Peter, do you mind if I use you as an example for a minute?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So Peter is an award-winning sound mixer, right? I got it right this time.
Yes.
And so you get paid a lot of money to do sound mixing. Now, Peter, what are 5 ways that you could make money with sound mixing that you're not using right now?
5 ways?
5 more ways.
Well, I could teach other people.
Yes, that's one.
Yeah, I guess I could make videos about the concepts and so on. I could write a book.
Yes.
Look for other areas where people might need it that I haven't thought of yet.
Yes.
I don't even know. How many is that? That's 4.
That's 4. Yeah. Could you use sound mixing? Because I know Peter also does a lot of energetic modalities. So could you use sound mixing as a metaphor for your energetic modalities and use it to promote?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
5.
Yeah.
Public speaking, 6.
Yes.
So we just found 6 ways that Peter could use something that he already makes money with and enjoys very much, that he could also make money, like a different ways that he could make money with, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I really recommend you all do this exercise. You write down everything that you enjoy doing that you either already make money with or that you wish you could make money with. So for instance, if you paint and you haven't sold an art piece yet, that's okay. You can write it because you know you can make money with that. the other day we had somebody who loves going to the movies, and she was asking, how can I make money going to the movies? Now, there are two things that we pointed out to her. First of all, you could be a critic. You could be a movie critic. You could get paid to go to the movies. But second, when she goes to the movies, she accesses a part of herself that she does not access in other activities. And that part of herself may be the one that generates the money. So it could be that it's not necessarily the activity of going to the movies that makes her money. It could be that when she's at the movies, she's in a flow, in an energy that actually, that's the one that generates the money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So just to go back a little bit, we looked at what points of views you have about money, what stories you have about money, and you really need to spend some time to uncreate and destroy those points of views and those stories. Yeah.
Well, something came up. I mean, when
Yeah.
you first asked what's money, and nothing came up, and then I suddenly had this image of this incredibly big hill that I had to climb. But then I got the image of me standing on the top, exulting in joy. So I don't know what that means.
So is it possible that you can get there, but you just have not chosen to get there yet?
Yes, that's it. Exactly it.
Peter, I'm gonna share something with you, because I just wrote a speech about this actually myself. So I know exactly what I need to do to be successful in one of my businesses. I have 5 businesses, and one of them, I know exactly I literally know step by step what I need to do to be successful.
Okay.
For a whole year. It's been a whole year that I know. Have I done it? No. Did I start? Yes, I started a little bit, but I haven't really done it yet. Now, I keep asking myself, why? It does not matter why. It doesn't matter. What matters is when I want to choose it, I'll choose it. But if I put pressure on myself, right? If I judge myself because I have chosen it or I have not chosen it, I'm never going to do that. Okay?
Right.
Who here likes to be obligated to do anything?
No.
No, we don't like it. We hate being obligated to do anything. So if we put that pressure on ourselves to make money, it's not going to happen. Right? So that you may be aware of where you could be going, but if you're like, well, I have to go there. No, you're not. You don't have to go there. You're never going to go there if you have to go there. You have to choose to go there. That's number 1.
Thank you for that. Thank you. God.
Okay. Now, number 2, Peter, and everybody, we're going to do the same thing. So you all imagine for a second that hill that Peter is talking about. So you all imagine that you've got the millions, or you've got the thousands, or you've got the yacht, whatever it is that money represents for you. Just be there for like 5 seconds. Just go there for 5 seconds. Okay. Now, come back to where your money flow is right now. So ask yourself this question. What do I love so much about the level where I'm at right now that I will not leave it to go to that level where I want to go? I'll repeat. What do I love so much about the level where I am right now that I will not leave it to go to the top where I know I want to go?
Comes up, I don't deserve more.
Yeah, but that you're not answering the question here. I ask, what do you love about the current level?
It's safe.
Yep. What else?
I don't have to think.
Not necessarily. You actually have to think a lot for being here. If you did not think, you would actually go to the top a lot faster. I'm going to tell you a little story. This is something I heard, a long time ago. So this gentleman was a farmer, and he was making good money. And then the state decided to buy all the lands because I guess they had too many farmers in the area. So the state did a huge buyout and they bought the land. So he could not continue to be a farmer anymore. So he's like, okay, what am I going to do next? So he looked around and said, well, what does everybody want to buy? And he saw that everybody was on computers. So I said, okay, great. I'm going to invest in a computer company. Now, he knew nothing about computers. And he found somebody who was, who was making computers, and he talked to them and he invested in them. And he went from, I think at the time he had like $200,000 to $200 million in less than 5 years, because he just asked himself, okay, where's the money? He didn't care whether he was going to enjoy doing it or not. He cared about where's the money, like who's going to buy what. And he did it, okay? And it had nothing to do with thinking. He just went for it. He said, oh, people like computers. I know nothing about computers. I'm going to find somebody who knows about computers, and let's create a company that makes computers. And that's all he did. $200 million later. So the thinking is right now. So if you want to stop thinking for a second and follow what your body tells you, I promise you the money will come a lot faster. Okay, that's number one. What else? So anybody else has an insight of what they love so much about staying where they are right now?
I have one that comes up, like when I step up and I go somewhere uncomfortable, which is like really exciting. I be there for like a little while, and something happens, and I pot-pock, I go all weird, I go into judgment, I pot-pock even more, and then I get like so weird, tangled up with like slamming myself with tools, and then I feel like I've been abusing myself, and then I go back and like calm down from what I've been creating with that.
So are you afraid of intensity?
Yeah, that feels kind of light.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense because I don't like to be bored.
No. Okay. Let me give you a little bit more information, see if something else comes up, because I'm not perceiving that either, Ivy. Okay, so one thing that I've noticed is that when we start getting bigger, there is like the people that know us where we are right now, they're going to react. Okay, so either they're going to be super supportive and encouraging and awesome, and that's great, or they're going to be like, well, who do you think you are for going bigger than that? And maybe, well, I'm as big as you, I'm as good as you, so, I'm going to compete with you and show the world how I'm as good as you. Or, no, you can't do that, you don't love me. If you do that, you can't be that big, because then that means you don't love me, don't do that. So a lot of times, we actually stop ourselves because of other people's reactions. Now, I've got some information for you. And this is really funny to me. Once you get over that, so let's say that you go through that process of people kind of living your life or being upset with you and doing competition with you. By the way, I just had the most insane moment where people did so much competition with me last week. It was out of this world, but I knew this was a good sign. So let's say you get over that, and then you just keep going and keep going. The people on the other side of that, they're there for you, and they're going to welcome you with open arms, and they're going to say, Peter, Ivy, we love you. We've been waiting for you. Wow, it's so grateful you're here now. You've got to go to the top of the hill. They're not going to come down for you. You have to go to the top. That means you're going to have to go through those motions of other people's reactions. That's okay. It'll be fine. I promise you. Okay? It's going to feel weird, and that's the problem. What you love about, I think, about where you are right now is your emotions, your feelings. That's what you love. You love the feeling of being secure, of being comfortable, of feeling of what you think is loved, appreciated, valued, all of that. Those are feelings and emotions. So I had a really good metaphor in my head last night that came up. So you know how a surgeon is not allowed to operate on family members? Did you know that? So like by the ethics of the doctors say that if you're not allowed to operate on a family member because your emotions would get in the way and the surgeons would not be able to be clear-headed. So we know that emotions actually prevent us from creating more, from healing, okay? It prevents us from that. But we still continue to hold on to those emotions, buy into them, and stay where we are because of those emotions. How interesting is that, right? Okay, any thoughts, any comments on what I'm talking about here?
I guess, Sophie, it's Kate. Hi.
Hi, Kate.
Hi. So for me, it is emotional, but my awareness right now for me is that I just have this fear that I won't be able to take care of myself. You know, that I won't be able to have the money I require to live. And it's creating a lot of anxiety. And I think it's because my mother died. Like, so at some level, there aren't parents that are the backup plan anymore.
Yeah.
And I keep watching it and looking at it, but it's still really kind of big in my world.
Yeah. So Kate, how long, I mean, when your parents were alive, they support you financially?
Not a large extent, no. When I was younger, they did. But it was just the backup plan. And I even thought about that this morning. I thought, well, they didn't really contribute to me financially that much. Like, I've done this on my own for a while.
Yeah.
So there's no logic.
Yeah, you have.
It creates a lot of panic when I go to do a job that I'm going to screw it up. And if I screw it up, that means I won't have money and all that stuff. And it's just kind of this.
Okay, this is awesome. Thank you for saying that. So what you guys need to remember is the pressure, right? So when you put pressure on yourself, it's like you contract. You become smaller than you really are. So you've got to find ways to take the pressure off. And one of the best ways that I know to take the pressure off is to make sure you have more than one source of income. So that if one thing does not bring you the money, it's okay. There is something else that can bring you the money. Now, if you never had more than one source of income, it's going to take a little bit of discovery and implementation so to create a different source of income. So for instance, you know, if you spend 20, 30 hours, no more than that, like 40, 50, 60 hours a week working on something where, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, well, I don't have the time to to work on something else. Okay, cool. What if you actually make the time? So it could be you start with 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, and you really ask yourself, okay, what else could make me money? Now, I know Kate a little bit, and Kate is brilliant in other areas of her life, not just her main source of income. Now, all it takes is for Kate to set up a page somewhere. It could be a Facebook page, it could be a PayPal page where that says, hey, I make money doing this. Do you want to buy it? Do you want to pay for it? And then just charge people for what she does right now a little bit, but now more publicly. So that's all it takes, because if people don't know how they can pay you, they won't. So all you have to do is let people know how they can give you money. Either you sell something, you tell people, this is what I do, would you like it? And at first, you may not have people who buy it because maybe not enough people know it. But little by little, if you keep going at it, another energy that many of us forget about is we have to be willing to keep putting it out there again and again and again and again, whether it's promoting it, talking about it, whether it's mentioning it to groups of people, or asking people, hey, you did this with me one day. Did you like it? Do you know somebody else who would like it? That's it. Or what other piece of yourself, and I'm going to say piece of yourself, could you let out that people would love to pay for? You know, what do you know? What do you, okay, this is the question that Simon Melissas keeps asking also. What are you used to do that you don't think people would ever pay for? It's a little bit like the woman who was going to the movies. She's like, I don't understand how you can make money going to the movies. Well, what do you do? What do you love doing that's easy for you that you don't think people will pay for?
I don't know what that is. I mean, there are things that I know people would pay for, but I'm just so in such a weird place that I don't feel like I'm kind of up for creating a business around it. I've been doing animal communication a lot lately for friends, and I had somebody send me $100 the other day when I helped her dog, and I didn't ask her for the money. She just did it to acknowledge me, and that was really great.
Okay, so everything you have decided creating a business is, would you please uncreate and destroy that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Because right there, that's a business. So you did something and somebody paid for it. That's it. That's a business. That's all it takes. So it could be that you post a picture of your cat on Facebook and say, in my animal communication sessions, I love tapping into the beauty and space that animals are. That's it. You can just share that. And then people will actually know that you do that.
Cool. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And so that's, I want to talk about what Gary Douglas shared with the Certified Fast Status last night, because it was so brilliant. So with Access Consciousness, we don't talk about manifestation. We like to talk about actualization. So bringing into actuality what it is you're asking for. And in actualization, first you have to choose what you'd like to actualize. And choosing means that you become the energy of that. It means that you already have it energetically. It's already there for you. Okay, it's the ask and you shall receive part of the law of attraction. So when you start choosing, is a cool, now, okay, so I have money, cool. I'm going to stand different. I'm going to talk different. Maybe I'm going to eat different. Whatever it is for you, then having the money you want means. That's number one, choosing. Number two is called pulling energy. So pulling energy is it's a little exercise we do with Access Consciousness, and I have a couple of videos on YouTube if you'd like. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to allow the energy of the universe to go from the universe through the people that could either buy from you, pay you, contribute to you, refer people to you, all of those people. So that's a lot of people. We're not talking about 4 or 5. We're talking like 100,000 people. You're going to pull energy from the universe to all these people and then through you and out. And what that does, it allows these people to look for you without really knowing they're looking for you. So when they see you, when they meet you, they're like, oh, I want to talk to that person. I don't know why, but I want to talk to that person. So you pull massive amount of energy. So that's number 2. And then number 3, that's the part that most people shy from, is engage with the world. And what that means is have conversations with people at the supermarket, or, when pumping gas, or an old friend, call an old friend. It doesn't matter. But have conversations with people, check how they're being, how they're doing, what's going on in their life. That's the first thing, is first you really ask them what's going on in their life, because they will never pay you if you're only telling them about you. You need to be interested in who they are and what's going on with them. And as you're being interested in them, then it's possible that they'll ask you a question like, so what do you do? Or, oh, you sound so interesting, whatever it is. But never say, this is what I do. Always ask them what's going on for them and then let them ask you a question. If they don't ask you a question, you move on. There's 7 billion people on the planet. There's a lot of people for you to talk to. Kate, how does that all sound to you?
That sounds good, actually. It's
okay.
It is interesting. I was making it really significant about what it would take to create a business and how I had to put myself out there and all that sort of stuff. And also, I think the other little piece that came up when you were talking is that I've always it's been difficult for me to do one thing professionally and then enter into another world, because I know how much the world judges that. Like that's been my experience. If you say and you've been doing this for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden you're that, there's a lot of judgment in the world that you're flaky or you're not really professional at what you're doing because you wouldn't be focusing on something else and stuff.
Okay, awesome. So I want to address that too, because when you are doing one thing, if you have to cut off parts of yourself, then you're going to resent that one thing you do. Right? So you really want to be whole and you want to be you all the time. You don't want to cut off parts of yourself. It doesn't mean you're going to use the same language when you're doing different activities. You can use very specific language. But for instance, when Kate does makeup, she may not want to say and talk about consciousness or energy because people, that may not fit. But, she could be like, I'm going to give you a silly example. I don't know how that works, but she could say, I was going to use this blush, but for some strange reason, I decided to use that blush, and that just works so well with your skin. Like it didn't make sense. But so that's called using your awareness, and we would call it that if we were doing energy work. But for them, you may just give them a very specific example right away without giving them the theory behind it. So you're not cutting off who you are. You're just using different language. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess part of it is getting over the old habit of feeling I have to explain myself all the time. That too
everywhere
much.
That you have, everywhere that you've decided you need to justify yourself to the world, will you please create and destroy all of that times a gazillion?
Yes.
Right on, good, bad, pardon, as per short, bien. Okay, and then the other thing is this. So you are all very, very, very potent beings. Don't even dare to tell me you're not, because I don't believe you. You are a very potent being. You're so potent that even though somebody may have thought for 20 years that you have to focus on one thing, otherwise you're not going to be good enough, if you come in with the energy of like, the more things I do, the better I am at everything I do, which is my energy, by the way. When you come in with that, people's points of views will melt. They'll disappear, at least while they're in your presence. Because you are so strong and you're giving them that space that they can be more than that just one thing. Yeah. So there'll always be the odd one that doesn't for whom that doesn't work. But most people, they'll be like, oh, thank God, I love being around Kate because I feel like it can be me with her. Which, by the way, Kate has never heard, right, Kate? So I'm sure most of you have heard that people love being around you because you make them feel good, or they feel like you can be you around them. That's because you don't have a point of view about what it is to be you. And when you don't have a point of view, then people don't have a point of view about what it is to be them. You're giving them that space, that energy, and you don't even have to have a conversation about it. It happens. All right? So use that to make money. Do you know that with Access Consciousness, we always say that when you receive a judgment, you will receive $5,000 more that year. Now, here's what happens. So when you receive a judgment, you notice the judgment, you don't ignore it. You're like, oh, this person is judging me, cool. And then you let it go. It flows away, either through your body or out. Like it just goes away. Now, that means that you're going to be aware of everybody around you, but you're never going to make it significant. Do you know how many people in the world want to be like that? a shit load of people. Pretty much everybody who doesn't do access consciousness wants to be like, hey, how do I not be affected by everybody's judgment? So they're going to see that in you. When you receive a judgment and you don't make it significant, they're going to be like, wait, I don't know what she's doing, but I want that. And that's why people are going to give you more money. That's why you're going to receive more money. Also because now you become an energy that includes more when you receive judgments. But people are going to recognize an energy that they want to have in their life. So receive the judgment. So if Kate is being judged because she's doing more than one thing, say, wow, ching, ching. Okay, cool. They're judging me. Use it. And they will pay you even more money. By the way, yeah. And
can I quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before it goes away, this is so true, and I totally acknowledge that. I think I've refused a lot of money because I refused a lot of judgment.
Yes.
Because last month I did a commitment where I was every day uncreating and destroying all the judgments I have of me and all the stuff of me and do you have a clearing I can work with around that? Because I noticed that with the judgment I've already energetically refused it, and then I'm in my mind, and then I have to work.
Okay, I got it. You ready? So
yeah.
If anybody is listening to this now in the future and you don't understand a word I'm saying, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You don't need to understand this for this to work, okay? And also what I'm about to say is not going to make sense, so let your brain be fried for a minute. Okay. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be as judgmental as you truly be? And everything that does not allow that times a godzillion, will you please uncreate and destroy it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine sports shots and beyond. I want you to do that 30 times a day for 30 days.
Yeah. And do I have to me or me and my body? Because I reckon my body doesn't really judge that much. It's me or me that's not
whatever is lighter for you. It's fine, whatever is lighter. But it was funny because you and Peter both laughed when I said that. So yeah. I think Peter too, you can use that one. If you're laughing when I see this clearing, then it's probably for you. So use it.
I love it. I've been refusing to be judgmental.
Hold on. Okay, Kate, I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
So do you mind repeating that one?
Yes, sure. What energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to be as judgmental as I truly be? Everything that does not allow that will uncreate and destroy it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine sports shots and beyond. So what happens is you're really not a judgmental person, but you're judging yourself because you think you're judgmental. So with this clearing, what we're doing is we're pretty much giving you the space to just be you, okay? Which means you're not going to end up judging, but you've got to do the clearing. The clearing works energetically. And the reason so I don't actually do clearing loops very much because they're too passive for me. And I like to engage my body in everything that I'm doing. So I like to say the clearing. Some people like to write it. That's fine. But I would say somehow engage your body as you're doing the clearing. Don't just listen to it. Because your body is like, whatever. Hope that makes sense.
That helps. Thank you.
You're welcome. Caroline and Fiona, if you have any questions or any comments, now is the time, my friends. No? Okay. All right, Kate, how is everything for you?
Sorry, I walked away from my computer for a second. It feels lighter. It does feel a lot lighter.
Awesome.
And it's kind of interesting because I have a new client today, and she was referred through somebody, and I was kind of asking for clients, or I was asking for clients that were sort of more in alignment with me. And she said, oh yeah, Judy said you're really you're spiritual and blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of nice, you know, when people use that word, I know what they mean by it, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like she's excited because I can be more of me with her automatically. She's already given me permission. And and it was interesting that it came along.
Yeah, and I have this interesting point of view that the more specific we are in who we want to work with, the easier it is for the universe to deliver that.
Wow, that's really
so. If we say, I just want a client, it's kind of like we're going to get all of it. But if we say, I want a client who's happy to pay me, now that's different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So ask for clients or for companies that are happy to pay you, that are grateful for your work.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
I have a question for you, if I can.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I came into the awareness that this hacker, whatever, may have just recently transitioned.
Okay.
But the actual clearing thing doesn't work, and it's tied to my money flows because everywhere I go, he's there.
Okay, but once again, Karina, you're making that person the source of your money. You need to be the source of your money. It doesn't matter what other people do. They can create a lot of blocks, even energetic blocks. It doesn't matter. You're stronger. You're more potent. You know, destroy them. Kick them out. Nobody is more potent than you when it comes to you.
So this is where I'm having such a hard time believing it, because this person was able to influence the whole group and they all were blocking me until I did
But Karina, you're the one who creates that, not them. So
yes.
maybe you wanted to be blocked from that group. Like whatever it is, you're the one who's creating it, not them.
Okay, but that's not my question. My question is, because it happened so consistently and it felt like abuse, I feel like, oh my God, I might go do it again. It's going to happen all over again. How do I get over that?
Okay, you broke at the beginning of the sentence. I heard all over again. What did you say before that?
So I continuously feel like it's going to be that abuse that I had again. And I know that group backed off completely, but you know, this entity's still here. And then there's this fear of, if I go and create like I was creating, this is going to happen again. The blocking is going to happen again. Okay. And I understand that, but how do I get over that?
Okay.
That fear.
So here's how you get over that. Okay. Well, the fear is not real. So you'll never be able to get over something that's not real. You have to create above and beyond that. What you got to do is you got to change. So like you're talking about a person and a group right now, but that's only a portion of the population. Like I said, there's 7 billion people on the planet. That group, that person, that's not 7 billion people. So what you got to do is you got to turn your energy, maybe turn to the right, turn to the left, but go and talk to other people. Those people that are not connected to that you just mentioned. Turn, switch, go somewhere else. And that's where you'll be able to create more. Because the more you try to go back to that energy that you originally had created, the more you're going to remember what happened, the abuse, all of that. And that's just not going to create anything. So switch, move on. There's a lot more out there. There's a big world out there. You know, don't go back to the abuser. Go somewhere else. It's like if you ever are in a situation where somebody steals an idea from you, or there is a cause for suing, for going to court. You can choose to do that, absolutely. But you can also ask yourself, will this create money or more? Or will me actually having another idea and going somewhere else and doing something else create more. You don't necessarily have to fix what was done to you. It's okay. It was done to you. You can say that sucks, and you can be, energetically, you can be like, well, I hope you pay for that somehow, but move on. It's your life. And there's so much out there. There's such energy available and beauty available. Go smell the roses somewhere else. That's it. But I'm glad that you mentioned the fear, because fear is something that a lot of people use as an excuse to not create the money. And I actually hired a coach about a year ago, and his slogan is either you make money or you make excuses. So if you have excuses, you can't have money. If you want more money, you're just going to have to go and do it and create it. That's it. And the keys I just gave you, so choose, full energy, engage with the world. I promise you, if you do those three things, the money will come much faster than you ever expected. Okay, now engage with the world is not necessarily just about your business. Engage with the world is like you going to meet people and, calling all friends, checking out, like just being out there, talking to people, because now you're generating the energy of you being out there and people knowing you and loving you and supporting you and all of that. And then at some point it will line up and it will create what you want to create. I remember that when I started my bars business, before I became a certified facilitator, I did a bars business, and I parked my car somewhere, and then I walked around my town to find a place to do a class. So I wanted to find a place. So I went to yoga studios, I went to holistic places, and I found this little place that it was so funny. The door was open, but there was nobody in the place. So I left a business card. And then I called the person and I left a voicemail, and I didn't hear anything for months. So while this happened, I, did the best I could with what I had. I talked to as many people as I could. I remember, I think every other day I would go out and, go to meetups and stuff like that. Now, 2 months later, the person finally called me back and she said, oh, it's too bad. We're having a bars class already scheduled with another facilitators a few weeks later. I said, okay, do you have somebody to do an intro before that person does the bars class? And she said, no. I said, fine, I'll come do it. And this was all free. So I went and engaged with people for somebody else's class. I did an introduction for another facilitator, not for me, for another facilitator. And of course, you know what happened? That person who was running the place asked me to come and do a bars class later. And then my practice was filled for a whole year just with the people that she sent me, because I did something for somebody else for free. So that's what engaging with the world means. Okay, you go out and you talk to people. You share with people. Also something else. So like I create a lot of classes in a country that's far away from me, because I live in the United States, but I create a lot of classes in France. So what I do is I have many opportunities for people to interact with me on a live basis through Zoom, for instance, right? I do a lot of free Zooms, and they can come and ask me any questions they want. So even if I'm not there in person, they can still see me, meet me, and I, post a lot of things. I interact with people, and I have people that I've never met in my life who became very good friends of mine because of those interactions. So I don't want to hear, I don't have time, or I don't want to hear, I don't know where to go, because with the internet today, there's a whole lot of places and a whole lot of possibilities. All right. Anybody else has any questions? All right, so I'm going to leave you with one thing that's a little different than what you may have heard before. In order to receive the amount of money that you'd like to receive, you're going to have to first become the energy of that money. So that means you're going to spend a few moments with yourself. Maybe it could be when you're getting your bars run, or it could be just sitting in nature. It could be doing something that creates space for you. And you're going to ask truth, where am I not aligned? Where am I not vibrationally aligned with the amount of money that I'm asking for? So the truth will allow you to see what's true. We're talking about vibrational alignment. So truth, where are you vibrationally not aligned with the amount of money that you're asking for? So if you're asking for $1 million, you'll be, okay, truth, where am I not vibrationally aligned with receive $1 more million in my life? And it's not a POC pod. Use the awareness, okay? So when you ask the question, you're gonna have some awareness. And it could be as simple as go work out. Now, why go work out? Well, bodies are really interesting. So to create a lot of money, the body is going to be like, cool, that's going to take energy. Working out may give you the energy that you require to create that amount of money. Or it could be that you say, go to Starbucks. Now, why go to Starbucks? Well, because your body wants that cup of coffee that is going to make you feel energetically, like Starbucks is a big chain. So energetically, you're like now, with the masses, and who can you talk to at Starbucks? And like suddenly your body starts showing you different energies. But whatever comes up after you ask this question, you've got to follow it. It's called following the energy. So use that awareness. Ask the question and use that awareness. And also it could be like, know that you know, or it could be, stop judging yourself. It could be things that you have to work for yourself first before you go out into the world. I hope that makes sense. But what is it about you that you don't think is worthy of receiving $1 million, for instance? Because you're going to have to spend some time with that and maybe change that. Right? All right. Does anybody have any questions or any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Awesome.
Stuff. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And we do these a lot on beingwe.com, BEINGOUI.com. So if you want to go check it out, you'll have more information there about what Being We is. But we have a lot of fun there, and we do those twice a month on a regular basis. So I adore you. Yeah. Yes, it's BEING.
BEING.
Just typed it into
the chat. It's BEINGOUI.com.
Oh, being we, like being yes.
We.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Thank you.
I adore you. Merci, Caroline. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.